Really wanted to see this presentation. Is there a way that
अस्सलाम वालेकुम जनाब, आज हम फ्रिस्को की मस्जिद में आए हैं और इरफान साहब स्टार कंजंक्शन के बारे में एक सेमिनार कर रहे हैं, तो इंशाल्लाह हम उनकी गुफ्तगू सुनते हैं, देखें वो क्या प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हैं.
is there a way that we can sit there?
When we say that the objects are in conjunction, that actually means that the Earth, the Jupiter, and the Saturn, they have all come or aligned kind of in the same line. And because of that, it's called conjunction. Now, another good part is that for any object to be in conjunction and for us to actually be able to see it, they should be on the far side of the sun. If they are not on the far side of the sun, then we would not be able to see it because the sunlight would blind it out. So that's what's happening right now. Right now we have, starting from Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, these 5 planets, they are all almost in a straight line.
How
And that's
often
what's
does that
conjunction.
happen?
Sorry?
How often does this happen to
Yeah,
be in one
well,
line?
the thing is, for these many objects to come aligned, it actually happens every a decade or two. So it is still kind of a unique event. And just so, I mean, the thing is, I don't want to take away all the thunder from my presentation. But the thing is,
But what amazes me is how is that not affecting the gravity of the Earth around all these stars?
well, they are because they are still as far away. They are not coming any nearer to us. So
They are not coming to us.
Right.
So we were like, we were one of them, if you were up on Mars and looking at the Earth.
Yes. Yes. If you are on Mars, looking down on Earth,
Yeah.
you might see it like in a straight line, just like we are seeing it right now.
Yeah.
But that does not mean that it is actually, it's not coming any closer to us. Obviously now, but that's a good question though, because every now and then, see the thing is, I mean, nothing in the universe is static.
That's what I was about to tell you.
Yes. Conjunction is all about, as I was saying, this is an example right here that how Jupiter and Saturn, when they come in conjunction, this would be the geometry right there. And okay, this is what's happening right now in the night sky. This is from so mid-January looking south-southeast at 7 p.m., which is exactly what I was talking about earlier. That if you go out in the sky, I know that it's very cold nowadays, but if you really bundle up, okay, and then go outside, and around 7 p.m. start from east. So southeast, if you look, you will see Mars over there. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Okay, and in the middle, like if you look up over here, you will see Jupiter. And it's very bright. It is so bright up there you cannot miss it. Come a little bit further towards south and west, and you will see Saturn, which you can see that it's a small dot. So it is not very bright, and not as bright as Jupiter or as Venus. So you can see that the thing is like Jupiter and Venus, they are the brightest object on this screen right now, and this is exactly what it is. If you look down, this is, the thing is, this is there's a huge constellation which nobody can actually miss. It's called Orion. That bright object right there is Betelgeuse. That's a bright star. Right across from it, there is Rigel. That is also very bright. The way you actually recognize it is because Betelgeuse is red in color. It is reddish. It's not, I mean, the thing is, they don't have the true color depiction in this picture over here, but Betelgeuse is reddish. It's actually called the red giant. Okay? The red giant is actually a classification of a star along its lifetime. When a star is actually born, it is full of, I mean, basically like our star, the sun. It is a yellow star, okay? Its surface temperature is only 5,000 degree Kelvin, okay? Betelgeuse, on the other hand, sorry?
Not is more bright.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, much better now. So Betelgeuse is like almost 100 times, if I'm not wrong, please correct me. Keep me honest. I think it is like almost 100 times as big as our star is in size. That's because it is at the last end of its life. It has blown up so big over time that it is like almost 100 times the radius of our star right now. And everybody in the astronomers community right now, across the world, across the globe, is actually looking at this star Betelgeuse very keenly, because it is expected that it will blow up and become a supernova any day now. Although I have been waiting for the last 40 years. Okay, so that is that. Sirius, this is what I was talking about. The dog day afternoon star is right there, Sirius. Now, this picture doesn't show the constellation. According to the Greek mythology, is actually a hunter. So this is, I mean, the three stars which you actually see in the middle. There's the Betelgeuse, there's Rigel, and then you see three slanted stars, 1, 2, 3. That's his belt. And from its belt, it actually has a sword hanging, and that's why it's known as the hunter. And this Sirius, the dog, follows it along all night long, along its heels. And that's why it's called Orion, the hunter, and its dog, Sirius. Okay, this is like, okay, this is looking right up there, and you can see there is Mars down there, there is Jupiter, and there is Uranus. Now, Mars and Jupiter you can see without any telescope. You can just go out there, and if you know where you are, I mean, if you look in the right direction, you cannot miss them. Uranus, obviously, you have to have a telescope to actually observe it. Next, please. This is looking west. Looking west, you will see Venus and Saturn. Right looking at, I mean, the thing is, they are very close to each other. Now, obviously, once again, Saturn is not a very bright object in the sky. The only reason that you can recognize Saturn naked eye is because it is reddish in color, almost like the rust color, just like the color of Mars. And it is, and it stays up in the sky for a very long time. Actually, according to the Greek mythology, it is so slow moving in the sky that it was known as Kronos. Kronos, meaning the god of time. That's because it moves very slow. So Greeks actually called it Kronos. And this is Venus right there, as you can see how bright and big that is. So if you look in the west nowadays, you can never miss Venus. If you see like something so bright, you might be thinking, is that real or is that an aeroplane? That's actually Venus.
That is early evening.
Early evening, right before,
Morning.
no, nowadays right before sunset. okay, and after sunset too. During summertime or late spring, you will see it you will see it as a morning star. Then you will see it in the east. But right now it is in the west. Okay, next please. Okay, as this is what I was talking about, the next conjunction is going to be February 28th. That's when the conjunction of all 7 planets would parade around the night sky. And they would be visible: Saturn, Mercury. Now here, see, this time around we cannot see Mercury because it is pretty low in the sky. But around February, end of February, Mercury would start coming up above the horizon so high that you can actually see it. So you will see Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, Uranus, and Neptune. And obviously Uranus and Neptune, you cannot see it without telescope. The rest of them, they are all naked eye objects.
Which one is the closer to us?
Which one is closest to the Earth? Venus and Mars. Right.
And is that their size, because of their size, or because of the distance? I mean,
You mean their brightness?
yeah, the brightness.
Okay. Well, first of all, Venus is the closest planet to us, even closer to Mars. But Venus, because it has such a reflective surface, it has a very thick carbon dioxide atmosphere, okay? And it is so thick that almost 2 decades ago, or maybe a decade ago, nobody could actually see through Venus's veil of atmosphere. So that's why the thing is, it actually acts like a mirror. So all the light which comes, almost 95% bounces off. And that's why the thing is, it looks so bright. Although the thing is, it is not that big. Its size is almost the size of Earth. But because of its thick carbon dioxide atmosphere, it reflects everything, all the light most of the time. And that's why the thing is, it acts like a mirror. So that's why it is so bright. Okay. All right, these are a couple of disclaimers. They would not all be in a straight line, but they would be close together in the sky. Okay. And disclaimer number 2, as I said, for Uranus and Neptune, you will need a binocular or a telescope to actually look at it. Events. Okay. So this is, before I move on to this one, this is all I can talk about conjunction in a brief. Do you guys have any question regarding conjunction before I move on to the next slide over here? Any question about conjunction? Okay.
It happens every year? Or?
No, it actually happens very rarely. It happens like maybe every 10 years, sometime 20 years. That's what I was saying earlier, that Jupiter and Saturn, they actually get in a straight line every 20 years. But this event actually is happening after 20 years, that all these objects are coming in a straight line.
You mentioned that this is happening again in February.
Yeah.
So it will be in the same level?
Yeah, basically the thing is, some more planets are also coming into the view. So it is not actually a conjunction. The next, it is more, because as I said over there, they are not going to be in a straight line. Straight line means conjunction. So the next ones are not going to be a conjunction, but it's going to be a parade. Meaning that you will actually see a whole bunch of these planets come into the sky, but they would not be in a straight line though. Not a perfect straight line, but they would be closer together.
So they all can be seen.
They could all be seen.
Since they come in one line, does it have any effect onto the Earth because of the gravitational force?
No, not really. I mean, the thing is not significantly, because
Even it mentioned there, disclaimer there, that they are not in straight line. But we can see on the
yes, that's right. And the thing is, I mean, as we said, that all these planets, including Earth, obviously we are all constantly moving, right? So the thing is, I mean, it's like we are sometimes closer to a particular planet in one season than in the next. For example, let's take the example of Venus. Venus, sometimes it happens that here is Venus, and we are right here. But with respect to us, it can actually go behind the sun. So now the thing is, its distance from Earth has increased. But that does not mean that its gravitational effect, or the lack of its gravitational effect, is affecting Earth in any way. Similarly, sometimes it actually our orbits come very close. Earth and Venus, they come very close to each other, but that does not mean that the gravitational effect is actually, hindering Earth in any way. And the reason is because, first of all, they are too far away. And one thing about gravitation, it's an inverse square force, meaning that as you move away from the object, the gravitational force reduces 4 times. Okay, it is 1 over r square. So it significantly reduces. And because of its mass, actually the 2 planets or the 2 celestial bodies which affect the entire solar system, close by solar system, it's Sun and Jupiter, because of their masses. Because of their masses and because of their size. So Sun dominates the entire gravitational field of the solar system. The rest are just pebbles. So it really doesn't matter. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Okay.
Does the distance changes between all of them?
Yes. Yes.
Every 20 years or 10 years?
Oh, yeah, I mean, almost every... The moon is like at the perihelion or it is at apogee. Yes.
Was there any importance attached to this conjunction or any significance, celestial or astronomical, or is it just a random thing? I mean, is there something prophetic about it?
No.
Something, were there any superstitions attached
No.
to it in the past?
Probably if you talk to some astrologer, he might.
That is true. Yes, you are right. I mean, horoscopes might be, yes, that's right. Yes. Okay, all right. I think you had a question.
I just want to talk about a little bit just to explain, so just think about if you guys like any games like cricket, so you're sitting there in the stadium and you're watching 2 batsmen, right? Only 2 batsmen. And how many planets we have? Total 9, right? So excluding 2, we are able to see 7 at the same view. That's conjunction is. I mean, in a sense that right now is the opportunity between January and February that you are able to see 7 planets in one single sky. That's
Right.
the perspective.
Correct.
In one frame.
In one frame.
In one
I mean,
frame.
You can point it here because southwest is Venus and Mars is on the east side, and then you just have your telescope, you just point it,
Right.
and you have a huge field,
That's right.
and you would be able to see all these 7 planets
All at the same time.
at the same time.
And that's very rare.
That's
And
very rare.
that's very rare.
Last time it
Right.
happened in 1962.
Correct.
So, I mean,
Exactly.
you get to see other planets once in a while. One person asked, is it closer? They're not closer, the same distance. But the way they are, so your perspective is you can opportunity to see.
Right.
For stargazer, that okay, at the same sky.
That's
so
true.
many.
Yes. For the telescope, it's just one single sweep going from east to west. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's stay here. Yes. Okay. Now I want to talk about, since the thing is, we talked about conjunction. I want to talk about another phenomenon in the sky, which is called occultation. Okay. Occultation is when one body hides behind another body. Okay. So obviously, the thing is like lunar and solar eclipse. They are the prime examples. Yes, they are the prime example of occultation. We'll talk about that a little bit because, that will also cover, it's almost the same phenomena. Okay, so let's go to the next. okay, so here is occultation of Mars, okay? This is like seen through the telescope. That's why you see that's the outer limb of the moon. What you see up there, that is crater Copernicus. It is one of the biggest crater which we can see from almost, you can almost see it naked eye. When the moon is full, if you actually go out, you will see this crater. You cannot miss it. But right there is Mars, and Mars is just about to go behind the moon. And when that happens, it's called occultation. Next, please. Here you can see Saturn. And this is an excellent picture. I love this picture because I have seen this phenomena happening through my telescope. And the thing is, this is like a timed exposure. So you can see that Saturn is actually coming closer to the moon, and eventually it is going behind the moon, and then it is coming out from the other side of the moon. So
there's so many pictures taken.
Yes, that's right. So many pictures taken and then collapsed into one. So that's the occultation of Saturn and moon. Next, please.
Now that hole in the moon, is that because another star hit it or run into it?
Oh, you mean that? No, that.
Right in the middle, he's talking about that kind of crater in between.
That crater there. Is it because
Oh,
another star
oh,
ran
that.
into it, or is it God creation?
All the craters on the moon, they are because of the meteors which are constantly hitting it. Okay? And the reason our moon is battered is because it doesn't have any atmosphere. So there is nothing to prevent it. On Earth, when these asteroids are coming over, they get burned up in the atmosphere. And so before they hit the ground, if they are smaller, they all get disintegrated.
We have such a lucky planet.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yes. And the thing is, it is. Actually, if we did not have Jupiter, if we were not located beyond Jupiter, I don't think life would have been possible on the Earth. Because there are so many rogue traffic of asteroids that we would have been constantly bombarded with different sizes of asteroids. As like we know that in Arizona there is this asteroid crater over there in Flagstaff. If you actually go take a look at it, you'll be amazed how huge that crater is. And that is like almost 60, 70 billion years old. And 60, 70 million years old. Okay, and now most of the craters and its impact, we actually don't get to see. It is not well preserved like that of Flagstaff, Arizona, is because of the arid and constant moving of wind and dust, which actually covers everything. And some of it is actually covered under the ocean. It's estimated that there is a mine or a treasure of asteroids beneath the ocean, which we still have to go and explore. It is completely battered, and that's why it has so many craters. Yeah, almost like there. Okay, so this is the endless dance of the Jovian moons via a telescope. Okay, there are like 4 moons, and the thing is, and if you look through the telescope, you can actually see them dancing around every night. Ganymede, Io, Europa, and this picture up over here. This is about Jovian moons.